Now we're on. Hello, everybody. I hope it's working now. Sometimes Facebook is confusing me. I have another guest with me, an amazing Talk to the Entities facilitator. Hi, Heather. Would you like to say a few words about yourself?
Well,
it's your word.
I'm so grateful to be here.
Cool. So you're an entities facilitator since when?
You know, this is my second year, and I've really been getting into a groove with creating classes lately. As I was saying to you before we started, I facilitated a fun class, a phenomenal class in Washington, D.C. last week. It was so amazing. These tools, every time I facilitate this class, I get so much out of it, and I get so much more of me. And I really just wonder, what would it take for everyone who desires to know who they truly are to get their hands on these amazing tools?
Can you say more about what have you experienced for yourself there? I wonder. I'm curious.
Yeah, well, what I get so much out of the Talk to the Entities classes is a greater awareness of who I am as a being, and all these other things and all these other beings that I'm aware of, I have more awareness of them. And so the clarity of who I really am increases, and therefore I have a greater ability and capacity to deal with everything that's around me.
Cool. So
and sometimes there's a lot.
Again, sorry, I was interrupting you.
Oh, and sometimes, depending on where I am in the world, there's varying degrees of things to handle. So these tools are indispensable.
What is your favorite tool from Talk to the Entities?
My favorite tool with Talk to the Entities is the clearings. I mean, they're just so easy. You don't even really have to have a cognitive or linear awareness of how they work. They just work. So you just start playing with them, and it creates so much space and peace and joy and ease.
So like for everybody that's completely new in this group, would you like to explain the clearing statement from Talk to the Entities?
Yeah, I mean, just starting with the basic one for all of you, who are all of you? Who were all of you before that? 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 And who will all of you be in the future? Thank you very much. You may now leave, take your luggage and your magnetic and electrical imprinting with you. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, pod, poc, shorts, boys and beyonds. And again, you don't have to understand what all of that means. You just have to perceive and be willing to perceive the lightness and the space that that creates, and just really play with it. You can't break anything with this. You can't harm anyone. You're really just allowing those beings to make a different choice and have a different possibility.
I love that. And also, like, what I love about Talk to the Entities, you don't have to see them or hear them or be very specific with them. It's just like, you can ask, are there entities? Yes, no. It's like, and then you just start and go for it, clear, do the entities clearing, and then see if something is changing. Like if energy is more, like if energy is moving, if there's more space or not. So, and if not, then you can ask, and you can use the next tool, which would be.
Well, really, it gets down to what are the three things that we do with entities. We clear them, we communicate with them, and we receive from them. And so if entities are clearing, then it's time to ask more questions. Then it's time to ask, okay, so what's going on here? Are there entities that desire to communicate? Mm-hmm. And then we get into those conversations about how do we communicate with entities. And it really all just starts with questions.
Yeah.
Like, who's here? What's up? What's up, you guys?
Yeah, and that's really cool. So, and they're sometimes not answering in words. You just have an idea what's going on. That's how I perceive it. For me, it was like I always doubted on my awareness because it was not, different than to everybody else's awareness. And that's what I've learned with entities. Like everybody is so different.
Yes.
like your awareness, like if you doubt on your awareness, please don't ask the questions. Hey, am I different than everybody else? Yes, no. Oh, yes. Cool. Now what?
Yeah, and that gets into the realm of entity awareness signs and what are they really for you? Like what are your clues that you have entities present or entities to handle, or that are desiring to communicate or contribute to you? I mean, for me, I hear them a lot. So when my mind is really active, when I'm hearing voices, I'm like, okay, that's entities, but that's my sign. And for some people, it can show up as body signals, itchiness or tiredness, or those are some of the signs people get in their bodies. And then for others, it's mood. It can show up as kind of a funky mood, or a tired, kind of agitated mood. And really just asking a question with all of this: what is this? What do I do with it? Is this entities?
Yeah, that's true. I also hear a lot of people concluding, oh, that's entities, which is not a question.
Exactly. Or this must be entities, right?
Yeah, blaming the entities for things that are not working. That's not
Yeah.
really how it works.
Yeah. And we change a lot of that in the intros and the beginning classes, is those kind of misidentifications of what is entities at play and what's really not.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So what was the special thing about the last class you did? I have a sense there's something going on that makes you so happy you would like to share.
It was really fun. It was on Halloween, so it was very festive. We wore witch hats. I came in a princess costume the first night. It was just very light and festive, and we cleared a lot of that energy of the heaviness and the judgment around entities and being aware of them. Because what if it's a function of your being, and what if that can be light and easy and joyful, really coming to us with ease and joy and glory.
You mean that the access mantra helps with entities as well?
Absolutely. It does. It does. And what if we could have ease with everything that we're aware of and everything that we are?
So cool. So what was the, like, if you look in your classes, was one of the big ahas for participants in class?
We talked about walk-ins a lot in this past class, and it was really getting clear on, this is me, the being, and these are all these other beings that I'm aware of, or maybe have occupied this body previously. I'm a walk-in, so it's an area where I do have a lot of awareness around that, and it's a particularly dynamic piece of awareness with these tools. And of course, Shannon talks about it in her book, Talk to the Entities, as well. So with that whole conversation, it's really about getting clear of, like, who am I really? And what's it going to take to have clarity and ease with that and all these other beings?
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for saying what I oftentimes, like, the walk-in part is also a part of foundation.
Yeah.
Just a slide part. And I see people, they go in really significance with it.
Oh, yes.
When it actually is not, like, they really, wow. I was like, I personally found it's an amazing, like, thing just because we can. But some people make a really story out of it and how dramatic it is and blah, blah. Sometimes I'm surprised. So yeah, how's it for you?
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate that you mentioned the drama, because that's one thing that gets cleared so dynamically in these Talk to the Entities classes and conversations, is the whole drama around the whole situation, which is so built up with movies and books, and people come with their stories. And what would it be like if we could just really laugh at that and have a lot of fun with it and let go of all the trauma and drama that's creating limitation in this area? And, you know, the walk-in conversation, when you were saying that just now, brought up the question that we ask in foundation: who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventures will I have? I mean, it really brings up that question of like, well, who am I really?
Today. And who
Today.
tomorrow? In the next 10 seconds.
Exactly. Without any form, structure, or significance on that.
Yeah. So, and I see that, and that's what I'm loving about the tools of Talk to the Entities. They're easy. Like it's not the drama. If people go there, it's like sometimes like, is that real? And like it's about the facilitator to just facilitate and bring ease in this area and just ask, okay, if people go into the drama, okay, does it feel light to you when you're saying that? Is it really like somebody who's like, yes, or like, ugh. Or is it a point of view bought from others? You bought from television, wherever it comes from. Like you can ask yourself if it's the drama and drama. Is it really true? Is it something that's lightening you up in every cell, in every molecule of your being? Or is it something like, so then you know.
Exactly. Like when your story starts, if it's starting to make you feel all heavy and contracted and the tears are running down your face and you're not laughing, like really, like, is this creating greater possibilities or fewer possibilities?
Yeah, it's not wrong. It's just be aware of, what am I creating with this? Is that creating the future I desire to live in, or is it something else? So
yeah, and I really find that laughter, that joking about all this, that finding a way to laugh at ourselves and what's showing up is really the way to bring just a different possibility. Because the trauma and drama can be fun in this 10 seconds. And then what other choice can I be making here?
Yeah. And it's not about making something or somebody wrong. It's just, having an awareness of, okay, what's really going on here? And what else would be possible if we would start asking questions in some areas? So,
yeah, I love that question. What's really going on here?
Yeah.
And I gave a follow-up to this last class. And the number one question I was saying to run around all of this and really around everything is what energy, space, and consciousness can we in our bodies be to have total clarity and ease with all of this?
I love that one. That's like melting.
Yeah, because it's like, with really whatever's coming up, what would it take for you to have your own clarity and ease with that? Because when you come to your own awareness and clarity with it, no one can take that away from you.
And also no one can say to you that's correct because it's your awareness. And how often do you doubt on yourself because nobody else has the same awareness, because nobody else say, yeah, that's correct, you're right, or you're wrong. And that's the moment where you, start to learn to trust. Like, okay, it's my awareness, light or heavy. Is it true for me here?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what's been showing up for me so much more. Access classes and with Talk to the Entities classes is stepping into greater and greater knowing for me of what's true for me and trusting me and what I know. And being my own source for that. Other people can facilitate me and contribute to me and ask me questions. And ultimately, it's on me to know what's true for me.
You know what? Another entities facilitator just asked the day before, asked me a question like, we had a conversation about something totally completely different. And I was like, yeah, what if people just would know about XYZ? And like, how different could the world be? And she was like, yeah, but that information is not missing. Do you have the information? Like, oh. And probably I'm the only one having that information. And if I'm not, and if I'm not stop hiding that information from others, probably that would never exist here. Like, oh, how often do we have a conclusion of everybody knows that? They just have to choose it. But what if you're the only one have that information? Like, oh, okay, probably I should do something with it.
Wow. Yeah, what's it going to take for us? I mean, is now really the time for us to expose everything that we are and everything that we know?
Yeah, and come out of the conclusion, the thing that you know, does everybody else also know? The information you have about several things that everybody else, of course, have that as well. Ask, is that true? Some things probably But some things probably you know, and you're the only one having access to that information. So what
Oh
is
my
possible
gosh.
there? I wonder.
Wow. Yeah. So what do you all know that nobody else knows? And is now the time to expose that? Ooh, what would that create for the planet, for you, for everyone?
I wonder. So
Oh,
don't ask questions on that, please. What do I know here? What information do I have? And what's going to take for everything of that to show up with total ease in my life?
yeah.
All the informations you have that nobody else has are waiting to contribute to you, your life, your body, your business, to everything you're creating.
To the magical possibilities that can exist everywhere, things that have never been created on this planet before. I mean, what can you create? What can you choose? What can you have that no one else can?
Yeah, I wonder.
And what's it going to take for us to get that actually contributes to everyone and everything? That when we actually bring that forth and be that and bring that out in the world, that it actually creates more for everyone.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes I have a sense people wait for somebody else to prove, yeah, go for it. That's correct.
Yeah.
But will you like get a sense, can somebody else empower you to prove that for you, or is it about you? You have to choose it and see where it goes. Like you don't have to do anything, but ask yourself, can somebody else prove that for me, or is it
Yeah.
just your choice to go for it and see where it goes just because you can, for the fun of it?
Right. And to trust that consciousness and the universe totally has your back.
Mm-hmm.
And that you have beings that are around you that actually desire to contribute to you and your body having greater possibilities. And I mean, this gets really into a whole talk to the entities advanced and receiving conversation. And there's a lot of possibilities for having that in the coming months with Shannon, and some amazing classes that have occurred in the past. And I love the section in the beginning book about teammates, about how we have a team, that we're not alone here, that there are always beings desiring to contribute to us and stepping into more of our greatness.
Mm-hmm. So guys, if you have questions, I have my phone here, I can read them. If there's
Okay.
something popping up for you, just, I mean, we have the chance with a beautiful Heather. If there are questions, just type them into the chat here and we can ask them. So
Yeah, and we had nothing prepared. This actually just kind of showed up a couple hours ago. So spontaneous creation. So thank
I
you to
love
all
it.
of you for joining us in this conversation.
Things showing up out of the blue, like, oh, that's fun. Boom. I love it.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
What
So,
would you guys like to know?
and what's the thing? That was your pot and pock miracle
Yes.
Zauberstab.
The pot and pock is the magic wand.
Yeah. I was wondering. And sometimes it takes a bit until the questions come through, if there are questions. And if you're totally new to this group, like there's so much material already here. And you can also go to talktotheentities.com and find amazing blogs, articles, information about entities, about your awareness, about all the different things. Like there's somebody asking, hi ladies, how often do you clear the entities? Heather, how often do you clear entities?
That's a great question. I clear them whenever I get the awareness to clear them. That can be at home, that can be when I'm walking around, that can be when I'm on an airplane, or on the highway is another interesting place that oftentimes I have an awareness of entities. If there's an interesting energy, I'll ask, ooh, are entities creating that, and do some clearings. And lately, I have been doing some really dynamic office hours with entities, and I began my office hours, and that's something we talk about in the intros and the beginnings, all of the talk to the entities facilitators, is really setting aside a time each day to handle entities, communicate with entities, and receive from them. And it's really simple. And for me, it creates a place where they're not waking me up at night or looking to contact me at times when it doesn't work. So lately it's been in the morning, and I set aside this time and I thank them for not waking me up. And I start with the clearings, and I just go through the clearings that all of them are in the beginning manual. And then I ask who's here and just start communicating. So I'm doing that every day. It creates so much in my life. And it just creates a joy that is kind of inexplicable. And I would invite you to play with it and see what shows up for you.
Hey, cool. Thanks for the inspiration. I would start it as well daily. I is more like, they don't wake me up in the night, but I like, probably what would it create to have it really consciously like, hey, certain time I'll be there for them. So cool.
Yeah, and I kind of, it's my work, for lack of a better word. It's really play, and it's just something I do every day that creates more in my life. And what questions can we ask or be to create even more dynamic possibilities? What else can we be creating and receiving with the entities?
Yeah, and also really acknowledge that they're there and not ignoring them. I think that's a huge part of it. And Shannon O'Hara, the founder of Talk to the Entities, recommends to clear them every night before you go to bed. Mm-hmm. So for a few weeks or months, and if you do it on a daily, regular basis to get used to the entities clearing statement, then you become the entities clearing statement. It's nothing outside of you, then you just become the energy of it. Yeah. So how does it get any easier than that?
Exactly. I always tell this story in my classes of there's a wine bar around the corner for me. And every time I go in there, it is so filled with entities. It's almost foggy looking and dark. And I just have to go in there and it starts to lighten and brighten. And I can see things on the shelves and I can see people in there more clearly. And I'm not even running the clearings. I'm just in there being an energy of the clearings. So you can use these with your spaces and the spaces that you go into as well. That's super dynamic with spaces.
There's so much possible. I guess we could talk here for hours. What else is possible with the tools? And cool. I was wondering, I think that was the questions. Thanks for showing up and clearing every night. Yay. It's just like, and don't make it hard and significant. It's just like, if it's fun for you, if you have a sense like, there's a lot of entity activity in my world, just play with it and look where it goes. Like, if it's creating more ease for you and your body.
Yeah, what would it take to have total clarity and ease with all of this? And fun.
And fun.
All this stuff is about fun, having a good time with it.
That's so true. Thank you so much, Heather. There were no more questions, I think.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for showing up on this.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I wonder what else is possible with entities, what we can ask for, receive from. Oh, there's more. I have some sensations over my lower back and keep sensing it has to do with a hurt animal. Have cleared, but shows up again.
Cool. So when you're clearing it, it's showing up over and over again, then it's time to ask a different question. And when the question that's coming up here is, what question can I ask or be that would create a different possibility here? That's kind of a question about questions. So really, what question can you ask in that situation that would allow you to have clarity and ease with this? And I would wonder too, whether it's time to communicate. So communicating with that entity, that energy, what question can you ask or be here?
And sometimes it's even, who does it belong to? Is your body just aware of somebody else's knee and lower back? You know, like, and lower back can also be a question of, is there a capacity you have that your body or the earth is showing you, you know, light or heavy? Like there's, and that's always like, if something is not changing, use a different tool, use a different question. Sometimes also use the telephone joker. Ask, can you ask me a question here? Because sometimes we're just like, we have already concluded that's what it is. And if it's not that thing, probably somebody from outside has more ease to just ask a question from a total different area. Like, never thought about that. And suddenly things lighten up, you know? So there's no right or wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. Asking who can facilitate me with this.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just about 2 or 3 questions and you're like, whoa, this it is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
I do that often. If I'm asking myself like, nah, not really, well, who can I ask asking me questions here? And it's better, you know? Yeah, but everybody decides by themselves how long you would like to stick in something and how fast you allow yourself to have a different energy in your world. It's just choice.
Yeah, I mean, I've had so many moments lately where it's like, wow, I'm choosing this again. How interesting. What do I love about this?
Yeah.
My own self-facilitation.
Cool. Thank you so much, Heather. That was fun. I wonder what else is possible now. And have way too much fun creating with entities and everything you're up for. Do you have an entities class signed up near or?
Yeah, I've got classes coming up in Florida at the end of December and in Cincinnati, Ohio in January. So super excited, and a walk-in Zoom coming up
cool.
on the 20th. Yeah.
Awesome. We can type the things like under the video. Just let people know where you are. So.
Hey, thank
awesome.
you.
Thanks everybody for watching, for asking questions, and talk to you soon, guys. Bye.